Welcome to a podcast to heal your soul, where we explore the path to emotional well-being and inner peace. I'm your host, Lela.
And I'm your host, Calli. And together we'll navigate the challenges of life and everything in between, so you can heal, grow, and thrive.
Let's begin the journey to a healthier, more peaceful you.
The materials and content within this podcast are intended as general information only and are not to be considered a substitute for medical advice or treatment. Hello and welcome to another episode of a podcast of Heal Your Soul. I'm your host, Calli, and I'm here with my co-host, Lela. How are you today, Lela?
I'm great, thank you. Just don't have a voice right now. It's not normal. I've been struggling with bronchitis.
For like a week now.
For a week, yeah. But this is much better. At least I can actually talk.
Yes, it's much better than it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy to hear that. I'm very happy to see that too, because that had to have been a struggle.
It really was.
Yeah. So today on the podcast, we're going to talk about beauty. We're going to talk about what it means to us. We're going to talk about what makes us feel most beautiful and the kind of tools we use when maybe say we're not feeling so beautiful to get to the point where we're feeling beautiful again.
And confident.
Yes, and confident, which I think is our parallel in this, is that when we feel the most confident, we feel the most beautiful.
Absolutely.
So for me, I want to go back to when we were younger first, but for me, when I'm feeling super confident, I feel like I don't care what I look like, I don't care what I'm wearing, I feel like I'm just like exuding beauty.
Mm-hmm.
From the inside out. I don't know if you feel that way too.
Absolutely, like knowledge or something. If I'm like loaded with knowledge and that makes me feel so confident, you know, like at work or, you know, like wherever that is relevant.
Yeah.
I
love that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'd like to start with again, is going back to when we were younger.
Okay.
Like say 12, 16.
All right.
What were you taught was the definition of beauty at that point? Or what did you learn was the definition of beauty at that point from society's standards? If it's different than what you thought beauty was, because I know I didn't have an opinion of beauty. I had what society thought beauty was.
Exactly. I can't say I was ever taught what beauty is.
Yeah.
But I definitely equated beauty with the scale. I was a very chubby kid.
Yeah. So
getting made fun of in school and just, you know, weight was always associated with beauty and confidence. So if I was heavy, I was very, very unconfident, or I don't even know if that's a word, but very not confident and very just, I really struggled with that a lot as a kid. And I don't know, when I lost all this weight between 8th and 9th grade, it was crazy because nobody recognized me really my freshman year, you know? Okay. They were like, who is this girl, you know? Yeah. And when I started getting compliments and things of that nature, that made me feel beautiful.
Yeah.
That made me feel confident. I think when I started being in charge of what I was wearing and my mom wasn't dressing me and, you know, how I was looking, you know, makeup wise and things of that nature, that also kind of brought the ugly duckling to like the beautiful swan.
Yeah.
You know, it made me feel more beautiful. So I would think at that age, definitely, you know, the clothes I wore, I know that's very superficial.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, very superficial. But at that age, we haven't really developed much, and we, you know, it is superficial. We're very, you know, we're learning really what matters, you know? Mm-hmm. And so at that age, yeah, I struggled a lot with, you know, feeling if I was accepted by my peers, and, you know, because I spent grade school and middle school being made fun of for being fat or whatever, you know, and to this day I struggle with that. You know, if I'm overweight, I don't feel beautiful. I don't feel confident. I don't, So yeah, at that age, I would say that's what made me feel most confident and beautiful.
Yeah. So my story is similar. I was always taught kindness was beauty, though, in my household. And I don't know, I just picked up on that myself. But I always felt super confident, super beautiful, super like good about myself when I was kind to others. And I do love that part of my learning what beauty is as a child. But, or I should say, and also, that was what I was taught at home. What I was taught at school was very different. It was if you had the designer bags. It was if you had the limited to clothing. It was if you had your hair done or colored or makeup on. Not that there's anything wrong with those things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with those things. But truthfully, I never really liked that stuff. Like, that's just me. I never really liked it, but I kind of forced myself to do it because I wanted to fit in and feel beautiful and feel like I was one of the girls and feel like I wasn't alone because everybody else was doing it and I didn't want to feel like the outcast. Because I always grew up and I was a pretty big tomboy and hung out with my dad a lot. I hung out with my mom a lot too. I danced and everything. I love dance. But I was still like in the garage with my dad and getting dirty and doing all that stuff, like playing outside in the dirt. But I think that the definition I learned of beauty from society standards was totally different than what I really wanted to experience as a child. And I grew out of that when I went more into high school and I met a different group of friends that all played soccer. And I got to be the tomboy, tomgirl, whatever that saying is. It's tomboy. That I always was inside. And that was really cool. And I did still dress cool, but I used my own unique style. Instead of like what you said, your mom dressing you.
Yeah.
I did my own unique style. And I wore makeup sometimes and I enjoyed it, but I did it because I wanted to, not because I felt like I had to at that point. I don't know what it was, but when I started playing soccer, I just got a whole different shift. I was like, I am so strong. And to this day, being strong makes me feel super beautiful.
Absolutely.
It makes me feel super confident, strong physically, strong mentally, strong emotionally. That's what makes me feel my best. And when I'm doing what I love, it makes me feel my best and the most beautiful and the most confident in myself. But yeah, so it shifted for me in high school. It totally shifted in high school. Probably more so in 11th grade because I got away from a relationship that was very abusive and really found myself in my soccer team. I know that sounds silly, but like I really found myself in my soccer team.
No, it doesn't sound silly. I'm just like, oh my God, we have another parallel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
Tell me.
Oh, about the abusive relationship.
When you were young?
Yeah, like I was only 16 and I was dating a cop who was not nice to me.
Okay.
So yeah, that took up most of my high school years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I was 15 and it only lasted a year, thank God. But it was incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult to get away from, incredibly difficult to navigate, and it made me feel way less than beautiful.
Absolutely.
Way less than beautiful. And when I left that, I found my strength that I could get through that. And I found a whole new group of friends that just loved me for me. And that was like life-changing.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it was life-changing. So that's when it shifted for me. Was there a specific time that it shifted for you?
Well, it shifted for me when in 9th grade, when my freshman year. It shifted for me because I was getting positive attention and not getting the negative attention anymore, you know? And you're right. I mean, those relationships that you have in your life, they sometimes can knock your confidence down to where you don't feel worthy, you know?
100%.
Right. So, but the fact that, I don't know, I felt beautiful because oh, look at me, I'm with this cop and, you know, he's 10 years older than me and blah, blah, blah. And now looking back on all of that, it was a very scary time.
Yeah.
And it did not make me, he would even tell me, if you are a woman, you will do this drug or whatever, you know, like he would confiscate.
And you were a kid.
He would confiscate drugs and do them. And he would say, if you're really a woman, you'll do this. If you're not, then I'll find somebody else. So that made me feel like very pushed into doing things that I wouldn't normally do.
Absolutely.
Because I was young and impressionable. But that didn't make me feel confident and beautiful, you know?
Not at all.
Not at all. So, but, you know, like you, it's changed for me over the years what makes me feel beautiful, you know?
Yeah. So my next question to both of us would be, what makes us feel beautiful now compared to then? Because we've evolved.
When I am content and happy, I feel beautiful. When I am, I don't know, confident, strong, like you say, you know, when I am fueling my body with the right foods and exercising and things of that nature, things that make me feel strong inside and out, mentally, physically, spiritually.
So practicing self-care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes me feel beautiful. Being put together makes me feel beautiful. I have always been the type that, you know, I'm very into fashion. I just love being put together, matchy, you know?
I love that.
But I wouldn't feel confident if I wouldn't do that. And I wouldn't feel beautiful, I don't think, if I wouldn't do that. Although, you know, there's times, you know, like on the beach.
Of course.
No makeup, sunshine, picking up seashells, whatever. That makes me happy, and that makes me feel really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like just free, you know.
Yeah.
Being free makes me feel beautiful, you know?
I resonate with that so much, and I feel that way about so many different things. Freedom in, so for me, for instance, not that I'm not put together, but I don't do makeup often, and most of the time it's because it's so stinking hot in Florida, I feel like it's just gonna melt off my face.
Oh.
And I don't go out and buy the nice makeup that won't melt off my face. I maybe should do that sometime because I probably would like to wear it more, because I do feel really pretty when I put makeup on. Like, I feel really confident. I feel like, oh my gosh, I just look really good, and that's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
That you know what I mean? Like, look in the mirror and say, you look really good, and not feel like you're being conceited. And I don't think that's conceited. I think that's like, and again, society's standard that it puts on us is that if you say nice things about yourself, like we've talked about in the past, like accepting a compliment, instead of just saying thank you, we're like, oh, it was so cheap, I got it at Target,
right?
at TJ Maxx. Oh, this old thing, I've had it for years. Instead of just being like thank you and receiving the compliment.
Oh, I relate to that so much.
Yeah, I think so many women do.
Yeah.
I don't know about guys, but I think so many women do. Because every time I compliment a woman, she's like, oh, this was so cheap, this old thing.
Right. We don't just accept it graciously and say,
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, like, I could really learn from that, that's for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
I know it, but I don't practice it as much as I'd like to. I'm trying to get better with it, but it takes time. So I don't per se put myself together in the way that you put yourself together, but I feel really, honestly, you know when I feel really good? Wearing really cute athletic wear.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that weird?
No, sporty spice all day long.
I am such
love
a sporty spice.
I love that.
I love wearing really cute athletic wear, and I love when my outfit looks really cute together. But I just feel really good in athletic wear. I can dress up in nice clothes. No, I don't want to say nice clothes. I can dress up in more structured clothes, jeans and a nice shirt, a blouse or whatever, and I'll feel beautiful, but I don't feel comfortable.
Oh, okay.
So then I feel not my best, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
When I'm in athletic wear that's matching and really cute and makes, like, it's flattering, I'm comfortable and confident,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel really darn good. So it just depends on like the day, I guess, I'm going, or the event or whatever. But I do like to do both, but most of the time I'm more like a natural person. I don't do my hair too often, honestly, because I'm just lazy with my hair, because it takes way too long because it's thick. And I don't put makeup on because I think it's going to melt off my face. But I like that we approach beauty in two different ways, but we really come from the same place. It's when we're confident and what makes us feel confident.
Right.
And I think that is coming together as like maybe our definition of beauty is coming from confidence.
Right. I've always been a trendsetter, a leader, not a follower. I've always had a certain way of dressing that I don't follow, oh, this is the latest and all of that. I try to set that for myself. And with that being said, with my short hair, that's always been a thing for me to kind of just embrace. And I've just recently, I was trying to grow my pixie out, and I woke up one morning and I had all of what I call whoop-de-doos all over my hair, and I'm like, well, I'm 15 minutes away from a meeting. I am getting the shears and I'm going to start cutting my hair. I like it better as a pixie, and I'm just going to embrace it. A lot of people can't wear it. And I just told myself, that will make you feel more beautiful.
Yeah.
And it did. I kind of screwed up in areas. One of our friends helped me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's such a stigma sometimes, I feel, with girls with short hair. They're, men like longer hair and blah, blah, blah. I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to, this is something that not everybody can wear. I'm rocking it and it makes me feel beautiful. And I don't care if you don't like it, too bad. I get compliments all the time from men. Love your hair, love your hair. Okay, that's great. That makes me feel beautiful.
Yeah.
But I have to ask you something regarding compliments.
Okay.
Did you grow up getting compliments from your family, your parents?
Yeah.
I did not.
Okay. I grew up probably too many compliments.
Okay.
Almost. Like, I got compliments. My mom was my biggest cheerleader. My dad was a great cheerleader too. But my mom was like, you can do anything. And I think that's why I'm such a dreamer. Because from a young age, I was always told I can do anything, and I did good. I got the trophy no matter what. If I lost, I still got a trophy in my house.
Yeah.
And yeah, constantly compliments. I mean, don't get me wrong, she got mad at me sometimes about things, but
of course.
I was always getting complimented on things, and always told that I was beautiful, and always told like that I looked good in this and this and that, and even if I didn't look so good, she still told me I looked good.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't really raised in a household where you were how do I put it, like, oh, you are awesome, you can do anything, that kind of energy. I was, I think, taught more to be humble, low-key, like safe. I was, don't do this, this person's going to say that or whatever. But I think that's what made me so rebellious, because I wasn't a cookie cutter of my heritage, my family. I was my own individual person. And I had a different personality. I had a different everything. And I was not going to let my light be dimmed by, certain circumstances and people in my life. And I love my mom and dad, and I don't want to hurt anybody, but that is just the honest truth from me, And so I think now, today, when I do get compliments, that's why I make those excuses. Oh, really? This old thing, like you were saying. That's why I was so curious to see You know, like how you grew up.
I've always gotten compliments. I was always told that I could dream anything in the world.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I've always dreamt I could do anything in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I still do that with the compliment thing. And when someone gives me a compliment, I don't receive it well, which is interesting because I don't think that stems from my upbringing in my household. I think it stems from the trauma that I've experienced over time in my life, especially in relationships.
Yeah.
Where I can't receive when someone says something nice to me because I'm more used to the not nice comments and the more abusive comments from relationships.
Yeah. I've experienced that as well.
So you grew up in a small town though, right?
Very small town. Mm-hmm.
I think that is a big difference because my mom was born in Chicago. I don't know if this is true or not, but I don't know if because she came from a big city, she had a different mindset. And then we moved to a small town.
Mm-hmm.
But I still had that mom with the big city mindset. Wow. Not that there's a better or worse. There's absolutely not. I just think in a small town, because everybody knows everybody's business, that you want to, what is it called? Hold your P's and Q's, or is that the saying?
Watch your P's and Q's.
Watch your P's and Q's. Because everybody knows everything about everybody. And in a big city, they don't.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's why I might have had the more dreamy mom.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is cool. But I also did live in the small town, and it did affect me where other people were like, you can't do that. And then it would just, excuse my language, but piss me off and make me want to do it more.
Yeah, exactly. Right down to like this podcast, you know?
Yeah.
I never got, you know, wow, that's great. You're going to do awesome. My mother told me, you know, just a few months ago that I'm just not one of those people that's going to say, oh, you're awesome. You know, like some of these other parents that do with their kids and everything. She goes, that's just not my personality.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. I can appreciate that. But that is why I think, I don't know. I don't know. There's just something about it that has really affected me, you know, but that's okay. Yeah. That's all right. I mean, we're not perfect as mothers. I mean, I'm a mom too. I'm sure there's plenty of things I have done to my son that he would be like, you did this and you did that and you made me feel this way and that way.
Of course.
You know?
And I'm sure that I do that to Annalise, and she's 7.5.
Yeah.
We're just all doing the best we can with what we have.
Exactly. And how we were raised.
Exactly.
I think has a lot to do with it.
And if we can be better than the generation before us, then I think we're doing it right. Absolutely. Even a little bit.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I'm kind of going to shift gears a little bit, but I wanted to go back to something I just had the thought came back. Self-care for me and taking care of myself first and most is hard because I feel like it's selfish, because as mothers and women, in what in my experience, we are taught to put our children first. We're taught to put others first. So it took me a long time to shift that to I have to fill my cup first until it runs over, because what's in my cup is for me, what runs over is for everybody else. And when I'm doing that, when I'm not coming from burnout, when I'm not coming from like I have to do this, when instead of like I get to do this or I want to do this, when I'm not coming from a place of putting everybody else first and taking care of myself so well, I feel like a rock star. I feel so beautiful. I feel so confident. I feel so good, because then my mental health is not struggling. It's thriving. My emotional health is not struggling. It's thriving. My physical health. You know what I mean? Like all those things. Yeah. When I combined all those things together and really just watch myself shine in the way that I want to, I feel beautiful. And it doesn't matter what I'm wearing, what I'm doing, what I'm like, anything. I just feel beautiful. And that's like, if anybody could take anything away from this, like, self-care is so not selfish.
It's really not.
It's so not selfish. And I just want people to, especially women, I'm not saying men don't deal with this too. I just don't know, because I'm not a man. if you're not putting yourself first in life, I just invite you for maybe just a few minutes a day to start. And that's where it started with me, was I just did a couple minutes a day. And then I did a couple more minutes. And then I did a couple more minutes. And now I have this really long, drawn-out process in the morning that I think I've talked about on the podcast before, where I spend like 2 hours doing self-care in the morning.
Wow.
I know it's a lot, but it makes me feel really good. That's why I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Because I sit and I do I read my Bible and I journal on it, and then I journal on my intentions, my affirmations, and my gratitudes for the day. I practice a little Spanish, just little things. I meditate, I do some self-energy healing, I pray. I just do all these little things that add up, and they've now added up into like a 2-hour process that I do before Annalise wakes up in the morning. That's why I wake up so early, so I can get it done before she wakes up.
Yeah.
But then I feel so good for the full day.
Absolutely.
I've already accomplished so much for one, so I get to check all that off my to-do list, and I've just taken such good care of myself, and I feel like I can conquer this day. I am beautiful and I am confident.
I love that.
It's a long time.
Yeah. I mean, we're at different stages of our life.
Yeah.
You know, you're what, 34?
Yeah.
I'm 60. So I no longer have a child in the house. I don't even have a pet right now. So I've never been a morning person, but I remember being a single mom. You have to be a morning person. You have to do certain things for yourself before your child gets up, so that, you know, even if it's not self-care, it's making their lunch or doing, you know, cleaning,
100%.
depending on how old the child is. But in the evening is when I find myself doing self-care.
Okay.
I journal, I pray, I don't know, I meditate, but I don't meditate in the way that people, you know, like, you know, with the, you know,
Yeah.
with you sitting erect and with your hands, you know, in a certain position. I just basically, just kind of, like, even in the bathtub, I'll manifest, I'll meditate, I'll do those things to take care of myself. I take a walk during the middle of the day, you know,
I love that.
just to strengthen, you know, me physically and mentally. Mentally, that helps so much. And if I feel strong mentally and physically, I feel beautiful.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I like that. And I think that's another key takeaway, is that people always look at me with my morning routine and they're like, oh, I need to wake up earlier. I need to wake up earlier. And I always say, no, do it in your own time.
Right.
You have to find I'm the most productive at 4 a.m. I don't know why. I'm the most productive. I'm the most connected. I get the most downloads from universe, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. I just am more connected to myself at that time in the morning. I'm just really productive at that time. And then around 3 o'clock, I just shut down. So I would never be able to have a nighttime routine. I have a very short one where I write some gratitudes and some wins from the day and that.
Yeah.
But it takes like 3 seconds, and I read for 5 minutes. But I'm more of a morning person just because that's what works for my rhythm. So I think that's also another thing, is finding out what rhythm works for you. What time of day you feel most productive, you feel most creative, you feel most like yourself. And then working in that self-care routine into that time. Maybe it's at lunchtime. Maybe it is at night. Maybe it's in the morning. Maybe it's late afternoon. Whatever it is, there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Absolutely.
Just do it. And do whatever it is that makes you feel good.
And it doesn't have to be 2 hours, people.
No, my God, no. Mine's just developed over years.
Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever fits in your life and whatever feels good to you. I mean,
mine started with gratitudes. I wrote down 5 gratitudes a day. What does that take? 3 minutes, maybe? Max?
Sometimes it takes me longer. I do that at night, and I try not to repeat.
Okay, so I'll repeat.
Very difficult to
Yeah.
try not to repeat.
I do
It's
not
very
repeat
difficult.
as much now.
Mm-hmm.
But I do still repeat. But yeah, trying not to repeat is difficult.
Yeah.
But like, I'll say thank you. If I can't think of anything to be grateful for, I'll say I'm grateful for air, or a bed,
Right.
or
A roof.
or my mom, or Annalise, or
Yeah.
my dad's presence, or whatever. Like, I just find the littlest things to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And I also find the biggest things to be grateful for. It just depends on the day.
Mm-hmm.
But mine all started with gratitude, my self-care practice.
Yeah.
And it was literally, I'm telling telling you 3 minutes. I do find it hard though, and I challenge clients this often. Tell me something you're grateful for about yourself, and yourself only. Not I'm a good mother, not I'm a good coworker, not I'm a good employee, not I'm a good business owner. About yourself, what you're grateful for, just about you. Can you think of something?
I'm beautiful for my eyes. I'm grateful for my eyes.
Okay, I like that.
I'm beautiful for my eyes.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say something about when my eye got injured and I was only 10 months old. My dad ran over a small wire when he was mowing grass, and it damaged my eye.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time he felt bad about that. But when I went to school, boys would say, "Oh, I like your eye," and I would say, "Daddy, it's a beauty mark," and it would make him feel so happy. So I don't know why I just said I'm beautiful for my eyes, but I'm grateful for my eyes.
I love that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that shift on it.
Yeah.
That's funny you say your eyes, because I'm grateful for my smile.
Oh.
I have big old dimples and I just love them, and I'm super grateful for that. And I feel like my smile can be contagious at times.
Absolutely.
And I love that. And I'm beautiful for my smile as well.
Right.
And it's okay to say you're beautiful. And it's okay to be grateful for things about yourself.
Yeah.
It's really good, actually.
And it's not conceited.
It's not.
It's not being full of yourself or anything like that. I mean, this, for me, this is the temple that God made. And there's no reason I can't say I feel beautiful. I am beautiful. There's no reason. It's not being narcissistic. It's not being conceited. It's not being all the things that we've been told over time.
Yeah.
You know, embrace it. God made you. I mean, at least that's how I feel. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I love that so much. I love that perspective.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it like that before, and I love that outlook on it.
Mm.
That's beautiful. Aw, that's beautiful.
That
Why did you
is
even do that on
beautiful.
purpose?
Ba-dum-bum.
Cool. So, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on today in regard to beauty?
I don't think so. I think that covers it, and I think you ending it saying that's beautiful
It's beautiful.
is beautiful.
I truly love what you said, and that's why I was like, I think we finished this episode when you said that, because I was like, I think that's where we need to end it on, because that was a great statement. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this journey.
Thank you too.
I love doing this with you.
I love doing this with you too so much.
I know. It's like,
it's a breath of fresh air.
that's a good word. That's exactly the words that wanted to come out of my mouth, and I couldn't. Sometimes I can't get words out that the thoughts in my head are so big, and I can't get the right words out, and that was the perfect way to get the thoughts out of my head into the universe.
Wait till you become 60. It's even more challenging.
Yeah. I can't imagine right now, but I can imagine that it does get harder to get the thoughts out, because there's so many thoughts for so many years in the brain.
Yeah, it's full.
My mom always says that I have like a filing cabinet. I have to pull things out of the back of the filing cabinet, so it takes me a second to catch up.
Exactly.
So funny. So yes, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of a podcast to heal your soul. Please like, subscribe, follow wherever you listen to this podcast, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, any podcasting platform. And don't forget to go ahead and follow us on Instagram. It's at Beau-Ho Living, Beauho Living, or on TikTok. Yeah, it's right there if you're watching on YouTube. And on TikTok, it's the same, and same on YouTube. So we so appreciate you. We so hope you feel beautiful this week and every week going forward. And we will see you next time.
You're beautiful.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of A Podcast to Heal Your Soul.
Remember, healing is a journey, not a destination. Every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the peace you truly deserve.
Don't carry your secrets to the grave. Let's talk about them and transform the world. Until next time, take care of your soul.